Yes, up there.
So, would you tell us what Ahmad was going to tell Marie?
Repeat the question. Would you tell us what Ahmad was going to tell Marie?
Into the mic.
نمیدونم اگر میدونستم واقعا توی فیلم میگفتم.
I really don't know what Ahmad was going to tell Marie. If I knew it, I would have said it in the film.
ولی میدونم که ماری دوست داشت چه چیزی از احمد بشنوه.
But I know what Marie wanted to hear from Ahmad.
فکر کنم اون دوست داشت که عذرخواهی بشنوه به جای اینکه اون باز بعد از 4 سال دوباره بخواد توضیح بده که چرا 4 سال پیش ترک کرده. چون برای ماری هیچ جوری پذیرفتنی نیست.
I think what Marie wanted to hear is that she wanted him to apologize rather than explaining why he left.
توی فیلم همه حداقل یک بار عذرخواهی واقعی میکنن جز احمد.
In the film, every single person actually does apologize at one point or another, except for Ahmad.
شاید اگر عذرخواهی میکرد اون برخورد باش نمیکرد در این کار.
Maybe, perhaps, if he had apologized, she would not have treated him at the end like that.
این بخشی از فرهنگ در واقع ماست. یه توضیح مفصلی داره الان اگر بخوایم میتونم کوتاه توضیح.
This is part of our culture, actually. I can explain this, and if you want me, I can do that right now.
اعتراف کردن و عذرخواهی کردن توی فرهنگ غرب و در واقع این سمت دنیا بیشتر وجود داره، مثل رفتن توی کلیسا در بعضی از ادیان و مذاهب و اعتراف در مقابل یک انسان هم نوع خودت.
The confessing this fact actually belongs to this part of the world, like the fact that in some religions they go to the church and confess to one person right sitting in front of them.
فرهنگ ما نیاز نیست که یک نفری شما یک بار اون چه کردین اعتراف کنید تا بخشیده بشید. میتونید اگر کسی باور داشته باشه بی واسطه با خدای خودش در واقع بگه اون اشتباهش رو و در واقع اعتراف نمیکنه، یه جوری مغفرت میخواد، گفت بخشش میخواد.
In our culture it's different. You can indirectly, without having to confront that person that you need to apologize to, you can make this connection with the God and not actually ask for apology but ask for mercy in that case.
چرا در واقع توی فرهنگ این سمت ما مقابل یک آدمی باید بایستیم و این کاری رو که کردیم به زبان بیاریم؟ این خیلی زجر بیشتری داره تا موقعی که پیش یه نیرویی که برابر با شما نیست دارید اعتراف میکنید. اینجا به زبان آوردن گناه خودت مقابل یک کسی که شبیه خودته رنج بیشتری داره. و همین داریم این اعتراف و عذرخواهی به نظرم عمیق‌تره.
Why the fact of having to confess in front of somebody is much harder? Because the fact of sitting in front of and confessing is like a torture, and that's what makes it much more yielding for the person who's doing this rather than just sitting and talking to an invisible God.
Yes.
The wife was such a prominent character in the film, but didn't show up until the very end physically. Could you maybe speak to that?
The question is, why did Samir's wife, since she was the subject of the movie and played very big importance, why she appeared only at the end of the film physically on screen?
به خاطر اینکه شخصیت مهمیه ما آخر فیلم در واقع به طور فیزیکی اونو می‌بینیم. ما در طول فیلم خیلی زیاد ازش میشنویم و توی ذهن خودمون یه سلین میسازیم. حالا در انتها اون سلین واقعی رو می‌بینیم و این فضای مقایسه برای ما ایجاد میکنه.
Just because she's the main character, I showed her at the end of the film. During the whole film, we hear a lot of dialogue and a lot of talk about her. So this allows the audience to build an image in their mind. So when she comes at the end, you're actually able to compare what you have built in your imagination and the reality of her being there.
Actually, sorry, on the corner.
Incredible, beautiful, moving. Congratulations on the following, the separation. The children and those performances, particularly the boy, he tore my heart out every time he was on screen. Is he a trained actor? I don't know how trained you can be when you're like 6, but is he a trained actor? How did you work with him? Was he involved in the 3 months of rehearsals, or did you work with him more in the moment? Can you talk about that?
The question is about specifically about Fuad's performance.
فؤاد که اسم واقعیش الیاسه اولین باریه که داره فیلم بازی میکنه.
Fuad, whose real name is Elias, is actually the first time he's acting.
خیلی شخصیت قوی داره و از اون که همه 50-60 نفر گروه عاشق شده بودن.
He has a very strong character, and actually we had a team of 40-50 people, and they had all fallen in love with him.
من مجبور بودم به خاطر نوع کاراکتر اون مثل بزرگترها باش تمرین کنم و اجازه نمیداد که مثل بچه ها باش رفتار بشه.
Because of the character that he had to play, and I had to deal with him just the same way I had to act with my adult characters.
با احمد و ماری و لئا با هم دیگه یه تیم شدن و گاهی اینا طبق برنامه میرفتن به طور مثل یه خانواده میرفتن شهربازی، پارک، ناهار و کم کم اینا تبدیل شدن به یک خانواده.
With Ahmad and Leo and Marie, they actually formed a team, and they would go out for lunch, go to the fun park and play, so they could create and bond as a family.
وقتی میگم تمرین منظورم این نیست که صحنه‌های فیلم رو در واقع شروع کنیم تمرین کردن توی این 2-3 ماه. یه کاری انجام میشه که توی فیلمنامه در واقع اتودایی زده میشه که توی فیلمنامه نیست.
When I'm saying rehearsal, I'm not saying that we were actually rehearsing the exact scene, but we were doing a lot of exercises together that were not actually written in the screenplay.
بچه‌ها رو در بعضی مواقع نیازه که واقعیت داستان فیلم رو بهشون نگید و یه جوری گاهی کلک بهشون باید زد. راجع به الیاس این سخت بود چون که خیلی باهوش بود و دست کارگردان رو میخوند سریع.
So sometimes when dealing with child actors, it's not easy to tell them the whole story, the truth of it. So you have to trick them in some way and lead them. But with Elias, with Fuad, it was a bit hard because he was too smart and he would know what I'm actually up to.
من بعضی موقع باش قهر میکردم که اون ناراحت بشه و به خودش بیاد که خوب کار کنه ولی اون هیچ وقت نمیمد آشتی کنه تا من دوباره بعد میرفتم آشتی میکردم.
So sometimes I would pretend that I'm mad and I'm not talking to him, so he would do exactly what I want, but he could not care less and he would continue doing whatever he was doing.
و یکی از سخت‌ترین کار اتفاقات این فیلم جدا شدن از این بود چون بعد از فیلم برداری به لحاظ عاطفی با من و خانواده من خیلی نزدیک شد و بعد شبی که دیگه ما از پاریس قرار بود که برگردیم و اومد خونه ما خیلی شب سختی بود هم برای اون هم برای ما که داشتیم یه جوری در واقع دیگه کمتر هم دیگه کسی ببینیم.
So when the shoot was over, it was very hard to work with him because he had got very close to me and to my family, and when we were actually leaving Paris to go back to Tehran with my family, he came to see us, and it was very difficult to know that we're going to see less of each other.
Unfortunately, we have to cut the Q&A session over here, but please give a warm thank you.